Hello, everybody. Nokta dropped a bombshell on us today about this huge update that's coming up. I wanted to get on here and talk about it while it's still fresh. Some of the things that are coming up, um, and maybe kind of kick some ideas around about future updates. So we got. They mentioned the iron bias come in now. For those of you that aren't too familiar with iron bias, basically it is a series of filters that are connected into, of course, one option, um, ranging usually from a number range, 1 to 8 or 10 or whatever. Um, and they're designed to limit or increase the response to iron objects. It's much more complicated than I just made it sound, but that's basically the gist of it. More iron bias, meaning more bias to iron, meaning less response to it. Um, so that'll be coming up. That is going to help with separation, I'm sure, maybe even with bottle caps to a certain extent. I don't know how much testing they've done on that. Um, Now, the Equinox, for those out there who have the Equinox, yes, this is already built in there. That's where I wouldn't want to say the idea came from, but that's where a lot of the requests for this came from. And while it's fairly effective, I just recently did a short video. Well, it wasn't short, it actually was quite long. Video of the 6-inch coil with a fully updated Equinox using an iron bias on a low setting and iron bias high setting in the FE, of course, also at different settings. And I dug a lot of iron. Iron bias is not going to be a tool for everybody. It's something you may want to look at before the release comes, just so you have an idea of what it does. So the next item she mentioned was the M3 new multi-frequency. This has me baffled. Um, Splitting up these multi-frequencies into batches. Uh, we know that M1 is supposed to be one for leaning toward higher conductives. M2 is leaning toward lower conductives. I'm not sure what this M3 is going to be. It's quite a mystery. What are you going to have it? Just a general all-purpose one? That would be great. So you don't have to, worry about switching back and forth depending on the targets. M3, like a general, would be absolutely fantastic. Um, Maybe something on even lower conductors. Maybe more geared more toward relics. I don't know. I don't know exactly what this M3 is. It's going to be interesting to see, and unfortunately, she gave very little information, which is okay. They're working on it. It's just something that we'll find out when it happens. Another thing that she mentioned was the pitch tone. I'm wondering if she meant that is going to be like a VCO, where the response is modulated with a different pitch depending on its depth, lower to higher, higher to lower, or are they talking about more of something along the lines of like just something like maybe that the pitch is it's constant, however it'll change depending on the depth, rather than being something that's like a selected. You could have deeper targets sound higher pitched and or deeper sound targets sound lower pitched. I don't know exactly what pitch tone is, but I'm thinking it's going to be like a VCO where it's a harmonic set of tones going from deep to shallow. Also mentioned was a mineralization meter. Now, this is something that you could use. It's a good tool, um, especially when you're trying out new sites or different areas to see the ground mineralization. Also, it's good for testers to share across different areas. Um, maybe somebody over in England versus somebody in the United States, maybe in a certain area, to see, okay, these settings work on this mineralization. If you come across it, you could use these settings and it'll help you out. So I could see it for that, and basically when you're hunting in areas that are unknown, to see, well, why their signal response is different, and you could check the mineralization to see if it's more mineralized or less. That's about the only reason I could see why you'd want to use it. The next item on the list was a mute function. I can go with that. I think that's a good idea. You get a phone call, you can mute the detector, or if someone's talking to you, you can mute the detector. Or if you have two detectors that are, really interacting with one another, and perhaps you're talking or whatever, you can mute it. So the mute function, I could see a use for it. And I'm sure certain people will get more use out of it than others. But other than that, I don't really see much of a use for it. So this next one is the audio gain. Now, I'm at odds about this. While I understand that boosting the gain of deeper targets has a benefit, it depends on if they execute it properly. The problem is that if you raise the gain on deeper targets, will it raise the gain on close targets? And then if you're talking about just sheer audio input, you could actually do that now. I noticed that, if you're in, let's just say you're in the speaker mode and it's on 1, and you got maybe a whisper quiet kind of, like almost whisper quiet kind of target. You start boosting that up, that thing gets real loud. The problem with that is that while you're hunting with that raised volume level, and you come across something that's on the surface, everybody and their grandmother is going to hear that. Everybody. So, that's a problem. Now, if they're talking about audio gain where just the fainter targets are brought up, then that's kind of eliminate the advantage there is by telling that a target is deeper because it's fainter. So I'm not sure how that audio gain is going to work. And again, I'm on the fence on it until I see it in action. It could be the best thing since sliced bread, or it could be very detrimental to the detector. We have to see it before we could make a judgment on that. The next one is hearing the sound through the headphones and the speaker at the same time. Now, when you do YouTube videos, this is going to be incredibly helpful because you don't have to turn the headphones off, turn the headphones on. And constantly cycle through that. This way, your headphones are on, you could turn the speaker on, let somebody hear what's going on, turn the speaker off, get back to your hunting. It's an excellent feature. That's something that I never thought of that. Never thought of that. And it's an excellent feature that is really going to help those that film. If you don't film, it may be you're hunting with a buddy and you got your headphones on. You say, hey, come here, check out this signal. Turn on the speaker, let him hear it. You don't have to turn your headphones off. You're both hearing the same thing. It's a great idea. I think it's a win-win. So I can't wait for that to be implemented. So we got a couple of other features here. The selected setting to blink. That's great for everybody out there that has trouble with the eyesight, or even if it's like a lighting conditions can sometimes cause problems, reflections and glares. The blink setting may or may not help that, but it's going to be more of a help than a hindrance, the setting that's blinking. So I'm on board with that. Discrimination pattern to not revert back to custom when changing modes. That is a big one. That's a big one right there. Because she was right, and if you watched her Delix audio presentation, sometimes you're going and you're switching modes and you don't even realize that your discrimination pattern is changing. You're so in the moment. So that's going to be good too. That's going to be really good. I'm glad that it's just going to basically stay throughout each time you change the mode, so it's going to stay. The notch filter automatically sensitivity to drop to make adjustments easier. You know, if you're going to notch something out, you know, that's going to be nice, but you should really do it before you hunt. You don't want to be working on the fly. Um, you know, you go out there and you're in the wild, and you know, okay, well, this particular item always comes up. This particular number is always a bottle cap, or this particular number, well, bottle cap is a bit different for us guys, but for now. But this is a pull tab, or this is you know, this is some foil. You know, I can notch this out, I can notch that out. These are zinc pennies. I want to notch these out. Usually, you do it beforehand. Don't try to do all your work on the fly while you're out in the wild. That's your time to hunt. So don't waste time making adjustments. When you get home, sit on the porch, make your adjustments, do a little testing. You're ready for the next day. Don't do it while you're on the fly. And the last one is a factory default function. They got to be careful with that one too. They can't. It's got to be something you got to work toward to utilize. If it's something that's right on the front and you touch it, and all your hard work of everything that you saved and that you know you worked on, it's all erased and you got to start over again. That's going to be a real pain. So hopefully it's a couple of buttons you got to push to get in there and hit the factory default. I'm fine with that. I could see that. You know, maybe you get caught up in making so many adjustments and all of a sudden, oh, you know what? I just found out that this happens when under this situation, or maybe you move to a different area and those settings don't even work anymore in the ground that you're using. The factory default is going to be good. So I could see the use for that. But otherwise, you know, if they don't make it kind of hard to get to, it could cause problems. So all in all, I just want to say that you know, obviously, Nokta Makro is a very fantastic company, reaching out to their customers, listening to their customers, providing feedback, providing you know, upgrades. You know, they're a solid, busy company. Make very good products, and I can't wait to see this. I'm really excited for this update. The 105, I was, you know, kind of excited about it. The 107, I was really hesitant after 106. I never upgraded to 106. I waited. But then when I upgraded to 107, I've done only one hunt in 107, and I could tell you the difference between 105 and 107 is light years. Light years. The stability is better. You know, the VDI is better. There's so much that I'll have to go into on another day. But by the time I get to that, there'll be, you know, this new release hopefully will come out. I'm probably going to guess for a mid to late May release, maybe even possibly early June at the earliest for this new release. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you very much, and have a great day, and happy hunting.